you asked the question, how is it that a young kid is already depressed? And you said, don't they have like juice in their kidneys? So how come they're so depleted? I'm gonna bring you back to the start. Before there was a kid, there was mama. So we have to take 2 minutes and study the case of mama. And in what state of mind she was when she decided, or it happened, that she got pregnant. Well, when you understand the modern age and you understand the situation of women, we understand that this woman was already herself most likely depressed. That means exhausted. And one of her last resources, dare I say resort, now that may offend some people, is to get pregnant. Like when you study how people like nowadays get hooked up and have children, and you study the stories of the background story, it's not generally, it's very chaotic. It's not something harmonious. It doesn't come by less and less. It's a mess. Women get pregnant. They didn't want to get pregnant. They chose not. So these are such big subjects, and so I'm just going to try to keep it simple. But mommy is already, when she's pregnant, in a hard place. Let alone let's have a conversation about who the hell's daddy, if there's even a daddy. Sometimes she fucking bought the sperm in a what kind of man, I said this before, what kind of man donates his sperm? Well, that's the person who's, I don't want to judge, right? I'm like, this person is I suppose he's selling his sperm. So if you're selling his sperm, you're in a tough place. That you got to sell your own fucking cum to make a couple of dollars. Now, this is not a judgment, but maybe you like to masturbate and get paid for it. I don't know. But the quality of the sperm, when you're going to get it at a bank, it's like, well, I don't know. Do you think the top man is selling a sperm at a bank? Do you understand? This is not a disrespect. I don't want to disrespect nobody. I'm just trying to highlight something. So I'm like, what the circumstances in which in the modern era people are birthed is already in a state of deficiency. But I don't think people realize to what extent humans are deficient. The mom is so deficient herself. Let alone, let's speak about the father. If there's a father, like I said, it can be made in a bank. And let's say, for the sake of conversation, this is small tangent, non-tangent. You're like birthed in a lab. There's no life. So let's remove that example. So very often the basic setting is depleted. That means the ovum, the land in which the sperm is going to come, depleted. That means if you're trying to grow something on that land, the land has almost nothing left. How the hell are you going to grow crops, healthy crops, that are going to generate good food there? You're going to have bad weed there, that's pretty much it. Right? Now let's talk about the seeds. You know, everybody, nowadays people forget about this. There's such a thing as good seeds. Once upon a time, there was a thing about Monsanto. Kind of disappeared, right? Didn't, but it kind of did. And people got upset because the seeds are shit. Right? What does that mean? That means the food that's going to grow out of that seed is shit. Because the code is shit. It's not even real. It's man-made. Which means the food is going to be shit. It's not going to drop. Let's not get into the details. You understand? It's a bad seed. You understand? So you have a bad seed or a weak seed. And again, this is not a criticism to nobody. It's just that we got to talk about honest things. So we have weak seed and weak land, and we bring them together. What is born? What's going to be birthed from this? Whatever it is, let's say it's corn. It's a weak crop. So then the crop is weak. So it's trying its best. This is its circumstances. Now, as it's growing, it's no longer concerned with the seed and the land. I'm growing. We're not having a conversation about the seed of the land, are we? Now I'm weak. Everything is too much for me. Wind, too much. Sun, too much. Rain, too much. Cold, too much. I don't have the resources to handle even just growing. So when we stop and we look at the modern world and where it's going and the kind of creatures that we're finding everywhere, that in the manosphere it's a meme and we laugh and judge and criticize and dare I say, I can understand. It's like, yeah, but why are people looking like this? Why is that person a weakling? That you just point and say he's weak. I'm like, he is. That's literal. But you should do exercise. He doesn't have. He does not. There's not even the capacity to want to do the exercise, because wanting to do exercise, a desire, requires resources. You understand? A desire is a form of energy. It's an impetus. It's an impulse. Impulse means you have to have resources to be able to feel, experience, and allow the impulse to circulate to allow an action. I don't even have that. To even have an impulse, it's got to be somewhere buried very deep, but it can't even surface a little bit because I don't have the resources to be even able to handle the heat of the desire. It's very easy to say, you idiot, you shit, you piece of crap, you're a loser. Now, I understand the person who's saying that. I do. I understand everybody's point of view, but we're taking the point of view of a weak crop. I'm sorry, I got to say. I don't even have the capacity to handle heat. Heat coming from desire, not from inflammation or exaggeration or hypercompensation. Just desire is heat. It creates heat. I can't handle it. Now you want me to sustain an effort? I don't have resources to sustain an effort. Because effort requires energy. And energy is going to use the resources of the land of the body and the intelligence of the seed. It's unintelligent. It's not even able to, right? So it's like, well, yeah, so that person is perpetually, quote unquote, without energy. And on top of that, lives in a world where, well, look around. This is just, then the world outside hits you. And everywhere you go now, it's hard and it's difficult and this and that. It's like, on top of that, just like squish the thing, crush the thing, crush the thing more, crush. On top of that I don't have any resources. Everything's trying to crush me. I don't want to deal with anything. I'm going to stay in my room. I'm going to put my headphones on. I'm going to listen to my music, try to get some kind of nice feeling. I'm going to find something online, and I'm going to have a place where I can vent my frustration on existence. Yeah, okay, so obviously you know exactly what I'm talking about, because this has become a new thing now. It's not even a new thing, it's the past couple of years, right? Okay, it's easy, I understand, we can point a finger, and I could do that in the next video if you'd like. The point is, well, why is that person behaving this way? He's a loser. I'm like, yeah, okay, but why is he a loser? Because he doesn't have courage, he doesn't make effort. I'm like, agreed, understood. But you know that to make effort, you need resources? But what happens if you're born and this is becoming normal, but nobody talks about this? This is a sin. You can't talk about biology, you can't talk about basic things. The very basic foundation is weak. And this is more and more, people are more and more weak. They're still fucking. Less and less, but they still somehow are fucking. Add to this circumstances, add to this everything going on in the world and the weight of the world, and I'm like, well, I just don't have it. What do you want me to do? On top of that, I don't know how to eat, and nobody teaching me how to eat. Nobody taught me how to eat. On top of that, I don't have a father. My father's not even around. I come from a fucking sperm bank. Or my mama got drunk and had sex or got raped or God knows what and I come from there. I'm like, there's not, what? Give me coke, give me a guru, give me what the hell I need so I can have a little bit of energy. Maybe I got to go to work and I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like, well, that is a person who lives in a depressive state. And through that depressiveness state, like the person who lives in hypercompensation of a superhero, they'll derive a certain kind of sensation, certain kind of thinking process, certain kind of emotions that will kind of fuel them. They can't leave their depression. It's their gas. I suck. I'm empty. Everybody's an asshole. That person who's this, he's an asshole. He's a shit. Like, if I don't have that, I can't make effort. Then you have a person who's going to tell me I should do this, and it's like, okay, it's true that in some cases people are not making effort, and they technically maybe could. But there's more and more cases where the person doesn't even have a little bit of resources. And that will require a little greater understanding of the state of human beings, the state of the world. In the manosphere, people criticize women all the time, right? Okay, she's a this, she's a that, she's a this, she's a that. Fantastic. For the sake of conversation, let us say that what you're saying is true. Well, what does that say about her, and what does that say about the eggs that she has inside of her? Well, that's a weak egg. That means the land has been, she's a hoe, she's been banged by 25,000 million guys, and they've all left their imprints. What are you really saying? They've used her. Not in a negative way, poor her. They've used the land. So what's left? Not much. It's depleted. She's tired. Let alone, let's not talk about her psychology and how and why she got pregnant and how she psychically is going to affect her progeny. Most likely using that progeny to give her direction in life or as a source of food. Right? This is subtle stuff. This is sensitive stuff, man. And a lot of people don't go there. Okay, we're kind of slowly going there, one step at a time. I'm like, this is happening. This is real. This is not. So then you have what do you want me to do? Like sometimes you see a person. He's like I was taking a walk going over there, and I saw this old lady. She's like maybe 65. Like she's like her automatic car, and she's like, I don't know, 3 foot. I don't know how she's like just like right. I'm like, this is not like a new disease she got for the past 10 years. No, that's her life. For a moment, I'm like, what kind of life do you have, right? But this is obvious that she has a deformation or whatever she has. I don't know. I just saw her pass, right? But the new modern disease is a depletion. So the person kind of looks normal, but not really. The hormonal system is abnormal. The neurological, in order to create a dopamine, you need material and intelligence, that means biological intelligence, that's able to produce it. Because the seed knew how to produce it before, but if the seed hasn't done it for five generations, it doesn't even know how to code that anymore, kind of, sort of. It's not even in there anymore. We haven't done dopamine in 5 generations. Now you're asking me, dopamine? I don't know how to do dopamine. I only know how to do one thing, depression. And that through depression, we're able to survive. Kid yourself not. Just like hypercompensation, I'm the greatest, is a form of survival mechanism. Being a little shit depressive is also a form of survival mechanism, especially in this day and age. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a reality that your average person who's capable doesn't understand. Doesn't want to understand because it requires a little more insight, dare I say. Well, this is happening. You walk around the street, you see that person, it's like, well, whoa, right? And we can point the finger because they sometimes look odd and they make themselves look odd. But if you really look at them, like you're like, this person is, because I look at them with the eyes of a doctor, right? I'm like, this person has got, their blood is empty. Now, she got pink, purple hair, half purple, half green, with a bunch of holes and right? This is just an example, right? No, right? But I'm looking at that person and another person, she's hideous. I'm like, she's not hideous. She's there's nothing. She's empty. Maybe she's only 18. I'm like, she's empty. If she didn't color her hair, there would be no color. There's no juice in the blood. There ain't nothing there. She empty. And she got to color her hair to give some kind of light. Something. This is just an example, right? There's nothing. It's empty. It's so void of resource. Then on top of that, society is imposing all kinds of pressures, and nobody educates that person on what proper nutrition is, how to eat, how to try to replenish. And in such a case, well, this is a deep work you need to do. That means you need guidance, supervision, and you need money to be able to buy the elements in order to replenish yourself. You can eat McDonald's for $4.99. You need to replenish your system. You need good food. You need money. You could buy, I don't know how much mac and cheese costs nowadays, but it's not expensive. But once upon a time, we used to buy them like 95 cents, you're happy. Like, woo, we buy like 50. So it's got to be around that price. $1, $2, $3, something like this. The jumbo size. I don't know what it is. It's cheap. Maybe it's not food. If you want to buy good food, first of all, you have to know there's such a thing as good food. But when all you know is shit, you don't even know there's such a thing as good food. You don't even know what food is. All you know is what, right? And if you want so-called good food, which first you would need an education because you never had it, then you have to have money to have it. A lot of money. And you want good food, it means, well, like non-GMO, hopefully a little organic, means it's like there's a little bit of like life in it, a little tiny bit of a life. So you go to the organic store, one fucking apple is $1.50. One apple. What's one apple? I eat 3. Just appetizer. Two. I'm like, that's $6. What did I do? I haven't done anything yet. I haven't even wiped my ass. So you need money. Well, money means I need to be able to go make money or have some kind of ambition or some kind of drive. Yeah, but I don't even have that. What the fuck do I do? And then what's around me? A medical system that encourages my depression, encourages my pathetic state, gives me organizations that highlight, say, no, this is something. No, this is something. This is a group of, this is your, and they give it a name and a style and a music. I'm like, you're sick. And they have special rights, and now because everything is too much for them, so now they need to, I need to protect myself, and we need to create an organization where I'm a victim of, because the wind blew, so we are the victims of the wind that was beyond 4 kilometers an hour, and we write on the website, when the wind blew this angle, it hurt me, and I felt hurt by the wind. And then we're going to be together, and we're going to share our hurt because the wind abused us. And we're going to extract a little bit of juice from there that's going to give meaning, to give definition. We are allowed to live also. Thus, we are fed up of being abused by the wind. At least some fire. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, man. I'm walking on threading on, I don't know how to say that. This conversation is exhausting me. Just trying to not. I hope I'm making my point come across, and I'm just saying the modern society is complicated, and people are going through a lot of things, and different people at different stages, different classes, all kinds of things going on, and it's easy to point a finger. I'm not one not to point a finger. If I feel like pointing a finger, I'll point a finger. It's not the point. The point is, at the end of the day, there's a human being, there's circumstances, and you cannot extract a human being from an environment and a grander vision that takes you back in time, what modern science says, genetics, ancestors, where you come from, what humanity has been living, where you fit in the big picture, where this is going. You can't understand fuck all. Or it's just like, now all you got to do is get your omega 18.5, and then you're set, and you're going to achieve everything you want. So my heart goes out to people. I wish them the best, and if I can help, I'll gladly do so. But the situation is what it is, and I'd appreciate that we stop acting like it's not what it is, because it's convenient, and because it's intimidating and scary. It is. People are having a hard time, and those of us who are strong enough to understand this language and do something for ourselves, it's a blessing, and we should do the best of it. And if we can extend a helping hand to people, then by all means we should. But people are having a hard time, and it's very easy to point a finger. It's very easy to and I'm not saying that these scrawny little fucks are not assholes sometimes and unpleasant in their own ways, trying to in their way be some kind of vulture. I'm just saying, maturity requires a form of understanding. And hopefully I'm helping you see a little clearer.